We're live.
Oh, hey!
Oh, hello.
Somebody took control away from me. I already.
Who was that? Who's
It
hitting the
was
button?
Michelle. Michelle took control.
Sneaky.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man.
Good.
So I got to talk quiet because Michelle's in the other side of we call it the Bat Cave, and so we're trying to be on our own computers. But anyway, hey. So what's happening? Somebody's calling me. They don't know that we're on live. Everybody should be watching us, and they're not. And said they're calling me.
You should tell them, text them, hey, jump on live.
Jump live. Me here.
So what's going on? What are you talking about? Are you talking about should we talk about news first? Should we talk about real estate?
Let's talk about news and what's happening let's talk about news. What's happening in Maui? The new plan. Maybe
so breaking news.
Everybody, just so you know, if they all of a sudden, if I disappear, it's because they're afraid I'm going to go off the rails.
Yeah, we have Tom under check right now. We're just gonna keep him under and make sure he doesn't.
We got the eliminate button right now.
Anyway,
go ahead, Jordan.
Anyway, so breaking news. They are implementing a second test, a follow-up COVID test, as soon as you arrive on the island. So you still have to get your one test. What is it? 72 hours before
Within
you.
72 hours of.
72 hours, and now they're doing a follow-up test. They said, according to the article, this is on Maui Now, it's going to be mandatory. It's going to be a rapid test, and as soon as people land, they will have to take a test. If they refuse it, they will have to face a mandatory 10-day quarantine. I guess, the governor, they're doing this because they're saying that there's been an uptick in cases, so they want to find out or just kind of monitor it and I guess kind of be prudent in that way. Tom, I see Tom biting his lip right now, which is, yeah. And, you can, there's different opinions about it, but, it is what it is. It's going to probably take effect by the end of the month. So if you are planning to come here, make sure to find out about that and research.
That's the county of Maui too, by the way, because the mayor is implementing it, and he went to the governor and asked the governor to pay for it. And the governor said, "Nah, you guys can pay for it." So it's just another expense that county of Maui is going to incur, and it's because one of our health ministers here in Maui said, "Oh, there's 7 people per 1,000 coming in," but they had no documentation for that. He was just making that statement, which is what frustrates me. Is that now we're gonna spend more money for something that's not proven. So, but it is what it is, and you don't have to pay for it when you get to Maui. At least that's going to be covered by the county, which is one good thing. But I just think it is what it is, and I'm going to stop talking about that. So what else do we have to talk about?
I have my finger on the button. I was like, okay.
Yeah, in our screen, we have these little remove buttons over our faces. So I have to be careful because they can kick me off of this show in any second. But what's happening in real estate, Jordan? We were talking about that earlier as well.
Very, very. We talk about it every week. It's just been getting increasingly busier, I would say, every week. When we jump on here, we've been saying it's busy for the last month, but I feel like it's really, really hopping right now. People are both the residential and the vacation rental side. We've been talking about this for a little bit, kind of saying, hey, the vacation rental market is catching up, and sure enough, we just pulled the stats. Tom, I don't know if you still got them.
I have the stats written down. Yeah. So right now in Maui, in South Maui, which is Kihei, Wailea, Makena, and Ma'alaya, when we look at active homes under $1 million, there are 3. 4 days ago, there were 6. A week and a half ago, there were 2. So we're seeing, which is good, we're seeing more inventory pop into the market at that sub $1 million opportunity because people are thinking, hey, if I can sell this for that much money. And I've gotten a couple phone calls from some clients that I'm working on some listings, right at that $1 million plus or minus mark. So it's an interesting dynamic. The other thing that I noticed about that, and we didn't talk about this, but what I have on some of these listings that I'm looking at, when you go and search on the AVMs, the automated valuation models, which is like the Zillow's estimate, the Redfin price valuation tool, the Realtor.com price valuation tool. We have one on our website as well. What we're seeing right now is all of those pricing AVMs are coming in lower then I'm looking at pricing properties. So, technology is great. It's a great tool, but it's no replacement for a human brain who can interpret what's happening here and now, because those AVM tools can only be predictive based on closed sales, just like an appraiser. And so I was just in a property yesterday. The AVMs were right at $1 million. And I'm talking to the client saying, they're so far off. I'm recommending that we would be able to price this at $1,250,000. So that's a lot of money. So if you're thinking, geez, maybe I should sell my house, or maybe I should sell my condo in Maui, or wherever you're at for that matter, and you go to get your Zestimate, which is the first thing some people do, or their Redfin value, know that might not be accurate because the market has been moving so quickly that you really needed somebody to interpret what's happening in the here and now, who can look at the market, who can talk about what's happening, in the last week to 2 weeks, as opposed to what's happening in the last month to 2 months, because it's a different picture. Same thing when I went to do that estimate. I went 6 months back, and it's a completely different story in historical data than if you just go 3 months back. So that's what the AVMs can't do. They can't think outside of the box. They've got a pattern, it goes through it, and this is what it is. So if you're thinking about selling, boy, call a professional realtor that's been in the business, that's been in the market, that understands what's going on, that's selling real estate right now, because you just might be surprised. So,
yeah,
that's.
I also feel that, part of that is a lot of homes are still pending, so the comps won't be pushed up until, that closed data comes out. And, what was it, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about there was 800 pending home sales in Maui. And so many of them, Zillow and stuff, and even other realtors or, people just not in the know are looking at just the past closed comps. And that's not reflective of where our market is today. And, Tom and I both do a lot of business and have our fingerprints in the market, and we're knowing when we're seeing offers, we're seeing our listings going for certain, the demand is just so crazy right now that other sources can't really, unless they're really involved, can't really predict that. So yeah, I totally agree.
So call us. If you're in Maui, we definitely can give you the real deal take on what's happening. And that being said, based on that, I've got 2 properties under contract that will set new price records in the markets that they're in the South Maui market. So we're pushing the edge on price for our clients and getting it done. I just recorded a video, and it talks about, I got 13 offers. You're hearing this all. I got 50 offers. I got 20 offers. And it's like, is that really doing the client the best service when that happens? Because my thinking is my clients are going to say, well, did we underprice it? Well, that's a balancing act. And sometimes, I'll price something at a high price point, and we still get multiple offers. But, I'd rather put that property out there and get 1 or 2 offers, or 1 offer in 2 weeks, than know that we got maximum value out of it too. But there's another theory on that, where you put it out there and the market bids it up in an auction style. So, my goal is always to have that conversation with the clients, and say, these are the different alternative paths. What would you like to do? And it's ultimately up to the seller. So
yep, it's more guidance than
yes,
telling them what to do. Michelle, you ate it somewhere kind of cool recently, you said?
Yeah, Pine and Cork. They were closed for a while from COVID, but they're open now. It was so good. I had the warm mushroom salad. And
good.
Yeah, the staff was so nice. Have you guys been there?
Well, yes. It's been a while since I've been there. But yeah, the warm mushroom salad is
so
they
good.
have their fingers on the kill button again. But their warm mushroom salad is out of this world. It really is good. So
it was interesting. They closed. They were open for most of the pandemic, and they closed down right before it got busy again. And they said they were going to be closed indefinitely or whatever. And then they just opened up. So I went right before they closed, and then I went recently right after they opened. And it's cool. It's a great place if you're in town and you want to watch a game. I went to watch one of the Final Four games, I think it was, or something. Allie and I went, and it's like they have all the TVs up there, and it's like the perfect place in Wailea if you need a place to watch sports and stuff and grab a good bite. So go check them out when you're in town. Tom, you went somewhere else too, right?
Yeah, Quattro. Been around for a long time. It's a tiny little, really cool restaurant. Really great food, fine dining. And it's over by where Sansei used to be. So if you don't know, Sansei moved to the Kakui Mall where the theaters are, but where the Sanse used to be, it's in the corner of that property. And there's maybe 10 tables, 2 seatings. And I got to tell you, I haven't been there in a long while. Just, it was off my radar, and some friends of mine came in and said, let's go to Quattro. It's a BYOB, which is nice. So you can bring your own wine, bring your own beer. But the food was absolutely off the charts spectacular. So if you haven't been to Quattro, you need to make reservations in advance because it's so small. They have 2 seatings, 5 o'clock and 7. And oh man, it was just so good.
It's kind of like a hidden gem, I think.
It is.
Not a lot of people know about it. And I went one time and I just was blown away as well. I was like, I didn't even know this existed. Somebody told me, word of mouth kind of thing. And I went and I was like, wow, this is great, But yeah, it's tucked back in that little shopping mall. So.
And like my clients, he's a wine aficionado. And
he's a whiner.
I love it here because I can bring my really good wine and enjoy it and know that I'm just, paying for the wine that I bring my own. So it was really reasonable. It's not expensive at all for the kind of quality of food that we got. So definitely put that on your hit list. If you do go, call them and make reservations, tell them I sent you. Maybe he'll take care of me next time.
There you go.
Anyway, so great restaurant. But you jumped over something I wanted to talk about. You jumped out of the inventory. One of the things that we were talking about too is what right now we're sitting at 90 active vacation rental condos for sale in South Maui, and that was where it was at last week, right about that. So I see we're getting some inventory on. It's dissipating, but we were a month and a half ago at 200-ish. So we definitely had a rush. We've had a ton of people on island for the last couple of weeks now with spring break, Easter break. So it's been pretty slammed, and there's been a ton of business going on. So looking at that, and then residential condos, that's down to 26 units in South Maui, which is really low. They range from 304,000, which is their REO that they're probably taking offers on right now, up to 5 million. So lots of opportunities in the vacation rental still, but the residential is pretty snug. And then Jordan, you were talking about under $600,000 vacation rentals.
I've been kind of really monitoring that ever since the pandemic started, and 600 is kind of a good range because that gives you the entry level into the basically entry level into vacation rental, and it gives you a good spread. So during the pandemic, at any given time, at one point there was about 75 just sticking on the market for months and months until we opened up, and it actually took a while. We were talking about it. We're kind of surprised that that lower portion of the market didn't really start moving until I want to say about a month to maybe 2 months. It really started ramping up. I think last week it was down to 35. It's kind of been hovering around 35 or so active. And just today when we jumped on, there's 24. So, 10 or so went under contract. So things are really starting to move. Inventory is starting to get a little tighter in that portion. And kind of, because, you rewind back to last year, pre-pandemic, and there was maybe 5 to 10 at any given time, in that price point. So it's finally starting to catch up to where it was. And it's interesting because we're always saying that, the higher portion of the market was really starting to move, when things started opening it up, but the lower portion kind of lagged behind it. Now it's finally we're seeing that inventory get a little bit tighter. So,
yeah. And just globally in South Maui, we have 16 new listings in the past 7 days on our hot sheet. Normally, up until about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we were seeing, we'd see 20, I'd say 28 to 40 would be sort of where there'd be, new listings coming and going in past 7 days. So we're down to being down to 16. We're definitely looking for inventory. So, but yeah, so the market's been pretty active. So I'm going to switch gears back to life in the slow lane and messing with Jordan. So Jordan, you were doing a Talk Pigeon. Tell us about your latest Talk Pigeon Tuesday.
Oh yeah, so I like to do my Talk Pigeon Tuesday at the office. We have a conference room, but fortunately or unfortunately, I guess, it's glass windows all around. So, and the parking lots, coming into our office. And so I'm doing my Talk Pigeon Tuesday. I'm about like 5 or 10 seconds in, and all of a sudden I look up and Tom's over there making like the ugliest face, like looking at me, like trying to distract me. But he didn't throw me off totally. And it was great because the word I was doing was Lolo, which is somebody doing something stupid or acting crazy.
That was me.
So it was perfect. I was like, oh, there's Tom. He's being a Lolo. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It worked out pretty well.
So where do they find that at, Jordan?
You can search, if you search my name, you'll find my business profile in either Facebook or Instagram, and you'll find it there.
Pigeon Tuesday. Check out Lolo. He'll be giving me a shout out, sort of not very nicely. Which I deserve. So
there you go.
Cool, man. Anything else you want to chat about, or are we good to hit the kill switch?
I think we're pretty good. Michelle, anything else?
Tom has a new video coming out soon.
Oh, that's right.
McKenna or Kapalua?
Yeah, McKenna versus Kapalua, or McKenna or Kapalua. Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. It'll be where we're going to be posting that here on Facebook, I'm sure, and YouTube.
Everywhere. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. If you're watching, let us know what you prefer, McKenna or Kapalua.
Yep, and then if you're out and about, we're posting a lot of videos now. We're building our channel on YouTube, Lifestyle Maui. So I think it's youtube.com/Lifestyle Maui, I think is our address. So go in there, sign up, subscribe. So much would appreciate that. And we've got Condos, Castles, and Cottages. It's a new series coming out. So we just do a drive around of a new subdivision, or not a new subdivision, a subdivision, like we've got one coming out for Ho'ole, Hokalani. And we just sort of do an overview of the property, try to get you inside, take some shots of that. And it's sort of a fun twist on it, but I'm not going to give that up. We've talked about it before. But go check that out. That'll be on. That's not released yet, but we're building our episodes for that. And then also we've got a bunch of frequently asked questions that we've released. And we release those every couple of weeks. Tom,
I heard Guy Fieri was filming diners, drive-ins, and dives here. People still have him out. You should have got him on your show.
You know what? I thought about it, but I couldn't track him down. I was looking.
Okay.
I was driving my car. So Guy Fieri and I have a very similar car. We both have 1968 Camaro convertibles. Mine has white interior, his black interior. So it's a big difference there. But so
yours is nicer, is what you're saying, right?
No. This is pretty cool. But that's the Condos, Castles, and Cottages is sort of a little bit of a takeoff on diners, drive-ins, and dives. So you might be given some hints about how we're doing this new show. So, but it's
gonna be good. Yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna be very good.
So yeah, check us out. Search Jordan, search Tom. Find us wherever you can find videos. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I think that is what we got for you today. So aloha. If you have any questions about Maui real estate, call Jordan, call me. We'd be happy to help you out. If you're thinking about what your property is worth, like we said earlier, the market is just, it's not what you might see on the different tech tools that you can see online. So before you jump into something, give us a call and we'll try to help you out. Aloha and have an amazing day wherever you might be. And remember, this is my new slogan. Live your life with aloha and your life will be much better. How's that?
Ooh, that's pretty good.
I like that one. All right, everybody. Aloha. Here we go.